All right. We got another primary arms scope here to check out. It's a 1-6, 24-second focal plane. This is the Aurora 1-6 scope. If we can get it back out of here. Very cool. I am a fan of the Aurora a lot. Out comes the box. Got your cleaning cloth. You got your booklets that explain everything. Second focal plane reticle manual. Scope manual, ACSS manual. So you've got two different manuals there covering everything about it. Very cool optic, very cool. And there it is. Oh, there we go. Very cool optic. 11 settings for brightness. Scope caps. Got your battery. Got your turrets here to adjust the elevation. Oh, no extra battery in this one this time. Elevation and vertical, horizontal elevations, everything like that you might need. Batteries in this one. I'm not going to take it off because it's usually a pain to try to get off with your hand. I don't know. Well, not this time. There's your battery right there. It takes just a standard lithium battery, CR 2032. You can get those pretty much anywhere for butt cheap. So the Aurora though, you got your 1-6 powers right here. Very cool optic, very cool. The Aurora, to me, is one of the best of the mini versions of the ACSS that's out there. I've got the 1-5 power, prism optic in the Aurora, and I really like it. You know, I shoot iron sights a lot, so I really don't keep a optic on my rifle. People ask me that all the time. Why don't you put this on there? You got this. It's like, I know. The iron sight, I've grown up shooting iron sights all my life, so iron sights are kind of natural to me, and that's one reason I picked of the many reasons I picked the AR-15A4 platform, because of the sight picture and stuff. I really like iron sights, and they just work for me, you know. But however, there are times when I would like to have a good scope. Now, I've got a couple of them that are really good. You know, I really like the Raptor. I really like the 3x prism scope. I really like the 5 power Aurora prism scope. And those are ones that are my favorites. But this one right here is the Aurora in the 6 power. And I really like the Aurora reticle. And I'm going to roll in some footage here and some pictures of the reticle and what it does and everything. So I mean, yeah, the Aurora reticle. Like I said, I've had the 5 power prism scope. I've got the 5 power prism scope. It's just, like I said, I use iron sights a lot, but the 5 power, it really is a good optic. And but the Aurora reticle itself is probably, like I said, my favorite of the ACSS optics. It's got your built-in, all of them are great, but the Aurora is probably my favorite. And this one is in meters and not in yards like all the others. The Aurora is in yards. This particular reticle is used by the military in some of their ACOGs and things like that. So it is, you know, out there being fielded in the field. So Now this one's got, you know, just like all the others, it's got built-in drop compensation, bullet drop compensation. It's got windage holds, you know, wind holds and everything like that. A running target. It can measure distances and out to meters, and it's got all that built into it. So it's very cool. It's got the chevron tip. This one only is in red. The 5 power comes in, it does red and green. This one's just red. And from what I read, it's not daylight bright, but for God's sakes, people, on optics like this, they don't need to be daylight bright. It has an etched reticle. You know, I mean, it is pretty bright already, but in daylight, you do not need a daylight bright reticle. You don't even need it turned on, you know. But I hear people complaining all the time that it's not daylight bright. Well, they do make some optics that are daylight bright. I do know that the 5 power prism scope is daylight bright. The 3 power prism scope is daylight bright. The Cyclops, the newest Cyclops, is daylight bright. I do believe the Raptor, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember right, I think the Raptor is daylight bright. But in daylight, on an etched reticle, you don't need it turned on. That's the whole thing. You don't need it turned on. And so a day, you know, but it's bright enough at low light conditions. Think about this. Think about it. You know, aside from the ones I mentioned, you know, there's, you know, for close-up stuff, like if you're breaching a room or wall or something, you don't need a reticle lit up that can reach out to 600, 700, 800 yards or meters, which this can reach out to 800 meters. It's on there. You are not going to be shooting something that's 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, whatever yards away in the dark. It, you know, it's just not going to happen, because one thing, you just can't see it, you know. So, I mean, anyway, enough of the rambling. Very cool. Let's take a look at the reticle through the camera, see if I can get it in there pretty good, and take a look at it. All right, there's the reticle through the scope. It looks like it's kind of off, but it's not. It's got a screw down there, and there's a little bump underneath, so it kind of tilts to one side, so the reticle is not canted or anything. But that's it. That's what it looks like. There we go, there's that. As you can see, that glass is clear. It's very clear. Tough to get this in while I'm holding it. Let's look at it with the reticle on. I'm gonna turn it to the brightest setting. All right, there it is on. It is not daylight bright, which, I mean, you can barely see a little red tinge there on it, but it's not daylight bright. And it's only the section below the chevron and the tree below it, basically, is the illuminated part. But if you can tell though, look, you don't need the daylight bright on. There's with it off. See, look, you don't need it on. You can clearly see that reticle. You know, I'm trying to get my camera focused in here, but see, you can clearly see that reticle. And we're looking at it with the camera. So, all right, yeah, so, I mean, we're clearly looking at it with a camera, so it's not going to be as good as it is to your eye, because I'm just using an iPhone. I don't have no $5,000 high camera grade and everything. So, but look, I mean, you can clearly see it though still. You don't need daylight bright. You can see everything clearly with this optic. All right, there it is, best I can get. tough to get in there. But there it is. It's not the clearest on my camera, because I don't have it focused. I'm just holding it by hand because I don't have the cool ways to get the crispest picture. But see, that's the thing though, is that it's a little darker back here in the backyard. So sorry for my coffee shaking hands. I will not apologize for coffee. But that's it. That's the reticle. That's the part that's lit up. All right, what I was going to say about it also, though, too, is it's an etched reticle, folks. An etched reticle is awesome. And as I have and other people have said in videos before, that an etched reticle, if there is some type of event, for some odd reason, your electronics quit working, your battery dies, there's an EMP, anything that affects the electronics of this scope, you have an etched reticle. That reticle will always be there. Unless there's a catastrophic event that's happened to your optic, that means you're probably out of the picture of whatever's going on anyway. But an etched reticle will always be there, no matter what. So anyway, that's my overview on it. We will take this out, definitely take this out, and put some rounds through it soon. I am a huge fan of the Aurora reticle. I actually like it. It's one of probably two, maybe three, of my favorite incarnations of the ACSS. So big thanks to Primary Arms for sending this out. I will put a link below. And if you're interested in one of these optics, if you use the link below, it will get you a choice of a scope mount, or perhaps a kill flash as a bonus just for ordering it and get it free. So most likely the mount on this one, I think it is on these scopes, you get the mount. So that's very cool. And the Primary Arms mounts are pretty good. So, but anyway, that's my video. It's my overview. Primary Arms 1-6x24 ACSS Aurora reticle. This one's in 5.56, and it's for use in other calibers. So just on this one too. Keep it heavy.